Welcome to the Fight Season Podcast. What up, everybody? It's me, Jesse Rowe, here with Andrew Capucetti. We got our researcher, Dante Greco, over there in the corner. How you guys doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good. Listen, obviously there's...
Shout out Christian?
And Christian, our sound engineer, of course, in the back.
My bad, Christian.
Yeah.
What's up, Dante?
Dude. What up?
So, obviously we had a big weekend with Bellator. There was tons of stuff going on, but before we get started, I just want to do one quick thing before we say anything. I want to give a big shout out and congratulations to our researcher, Dante Greco, who got engaged yesterday. Congratulations, Dante.
Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. It's huge.
Let's fucking go.
It was well deserved.
Yeah.
He fucked up that shout out here. Let me run it back and do it again for you. You don't have to cut this out. We can play this.
All right, we're going to redo it.
Big shout out to Dante Greco. He did get engaged over the weekend to your lovely fiance. What is her name? Give us
Evie.
Evie.
Her name's Evie, yeah.
Fantastic. And big congrats to you. As I'm married here. He's married. Married life is the life.
Tell me about it, brother.
Let's go. I'm married to the motherfucking game. You know what the fuck going on?
You excited, Dante?
I'm engaged to the motherfucking game, Jesse.
There you
Facts.
go. Love
Let's
it.
go. Christian, are you married or no?
Nope.
To the fucking game, right? Let's go. No, Christian said nope, though.
Yeah.
But anyways, big weekend. How your weekend was good?
It was good. I
love that we do these on Mondays because we can always ask, how was your weekend?
Yeah, and I got a little break from football to focus on fighting, which is good. Because last week I was a little distracted by the championship games, not gonna lie, but it was good. We had Bellator 290, Fedor Emelianenko's final fight.
Right.
Did not end well, but that doesn't change the fact that the dude's a legend. Shout out, great career.
Yeah, no, I went to Bellator 90. I was there.
Yeah.
It was lit.
Yeah?
It was at the Forum. It was always a good time. Scott Coker's the man. He knows, the UFC needs to do more LA events. I think the UFC does an event in LA or Anaheim, Orange County, they try to do it once a year. But
It seems low for LA. Should be more.
Should be coming here twice a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it brings out all the stars. It's just a good time. I was in the VIP section. You know me. You know the fuck I do it. But anyways, I was chilling with Ernie Reyes. Thank you for Ernie Reyes. He got me into the VIP section. But
nice.
I was sitting amongst all the legends: Rampage Jackson, Dan Henderson, Chuck Liddell, Mark Coleman. Who else? Randy Couture, Chael Sonnen.
Who were you chopping it up with the most?
Well, obviously Ernie. I was kicking it with boxing reporter Ali Sekbag. Everyone knows we're good friends.
Reporting.
Yeah, there you go. I don't hate on other reporters, but Sekbag's my guy. I chopped it up a little bit with everyone. Said hi to Luke Rockhold. I probably chopped it up the most with Luke Rockhold.
Yeah, I saw you got a little interview with him after the fight.
Yeah, Luke Rockhold's the man. So he's a free agent now. Actually, let's talk about Luke Rockhold real quick. Free agent. The UFC granted his release, and he's looking to box.
Yeah. He wants to fight one of the Paul brothers. It seems like that's, what did they say? That basically he was granted his release specifically so that he could go beat the shit out of one of the Paul brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dana doesn't do that very often. That just shows that Dana has a lot of respect for Luke, I think.
Oh, I don't know. But maybe, probably, possibly. But I think Luke's one of those guys who always says what he wants to say. It's kind of... he's more on the Nate Diaz side of things where they just speak their mind.
Okay.
And he might
create his own narrative a little bit.
Not create his own narrative, just speak his mind. Create your own narrative makes it seem like you're saying stuff that's not true. Just speak their mind. A lot of people don't like people who speak their mind. I'm a guy who speaks my mind. You know what I mean? Somebody doesn't. You can't be controlled. And when they can't control you, they will label you difficult. You know what I mean? But no, Luke Rockhold's the guy who always speaks his mind, and I don't know if. Him and Dana White had the best relationship. Even though I like them both, Luke was granted his release probably because Dana didn't want him popping off anymore at those press conferences. You don't remember?
No, I do remember, actually. He was
I'm saying, what are you talking about? Create your own name? He was just popping off.
He was talking about the full send guys getting carte blanche because of Dana. He was saying a lot of stuff.
Talking a lot. Speaking his mind. Like I said, he was speaking his mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes, people don't like when you speak your mind. A lot of time.
Yeah.
But as long as it's facts, as long as you're not speaking bullshit, I welcome people who speak their mind. Speak them facts. People need to hear them.
But he did say that he obviously wants to fight with Logan. Well, what I loved, my favorite part, is he said that he would absolutely retire. He would be devastated if he couldn't knock Logan out.
All right. He said he would retire for good. He's
Yeah.
He's retired previously.
Right.
Now he's back. He would retire for good if he's not able to knock out Logan Paul. I think that's a fantastic fight.
I actually, not gonna lie, I actually would love to see that.
You've met Luke before.
Yeah.
You've met Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Dante, you've interviewed Logan Paul plenty of times. You ever interview Luke Rockhold?
No.
Anyways, they're both literally the same height, same body build. They're probably both like 6'2", slender, cut up dudes. Obviously, I got Luke. I'm not saying Logan has any type of chance. Luke's a real fighter. Logan is a YouTube influencer. So
yeah, I mean, Logan's been in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, so there's that. But no, I interviewed Luke at the Atlanta Super Bowl a few years back. That guy, he was so nice. He was so cool. But yeah, I think it's actually a fight that's probably going to happen at some point, or it's actually, I think that one is a likely scenario for Luke.
To check out the, both Luke, not to plug my interviews here, but to check out the interviews, go to Inside Fighting, check out the YouTube page. Both of them are going viral, tons of views. Everyone likes listening to Luke. Luke's the man.
But you all, obviously there were tons of stars at Bellator. I saw Jeremy Piven was actually in the crowd. That was kind of funny. I saw that. They put it on Bellator's social media. Jeremy Piven. I don't know who he was with, but some dude.
Jeremy's cool.
Yeah, he's cool. But
burnt, but he's cool.
Yeah, he is a little burnt for sure. Dan Hendo, a huge UFC legend. I thought that was pretty awesome interview. He was. What did he talk? It was talking about John Jones.
Dan Henderson.
Yeah.
I was still focusing on you calling Piven burnt. That was not cool, brother. You see what I mean?
Hey.
Can you believe that, bro?
Yeah. As soon as he seconded that Piven was burnt, I took a step back and what did this guy just, bro? I'm be dissing Jeremy Piven like that.
I'm not dissing him. I'm just saying he's not exactly beloved in Hollywood anymore. I'm just I'm being
fuck you up, Jesse. Come
yeah.
on.
Jeremy,
You know what the fuck going on?
that's a good fight. Jeremy Piven and Jesse Rowe. I got Piven though. Sorry. You got the length and the reach.
Oh, I've got length on Piven. I bet you though, like guys,
Just
Hollywood
rip
guys
his
like that.
hairpiece off, bro.
He has a personal trainer, and he probably takes steroids and shit. When he gets in shape, all those Hollywood guys do. So he'd probably fuck me up. But
Fuck Jeremy Piven.
I like Piven.
I know story. Jeremy Piven used
He's
to.
a fight fan. He's a fight fan.
I used to see Jeremy Piven in Malibu a lot. He was always hanging out, fucking. I probably shouldn't say this. Actually, I'm not going to say it, but yeah, Pepperdine University. He would.
What are you talking about? Hitting on college students? That's
Yeah.
what you're accusing
I'm
him of,
pretty sure
Jesse?
he used to hit on girls at Pepperdine, if I remember correctly. But I don't want to specifically say it just because I'm not 100% sure if that's
Check
accurate.
that with a lawyer.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so I also talked to Dan Henderson at the forum, and he was super cool. He talked about John Jones. Said he doesn't think John Jones has been the same fighter since he tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. That could be true. But it was good seeing Dan. All-time legend, OG, great fighter, and I don't know. Maybe he seems a little salty against John Jones. Who knows? I don't think they ever fought. But maybe he was always.
Was Dan same division as John?
Yeah, Dan Jones, one of those fighters, kind of like who else bumped up from 85 to 205. Dan Jones always fought at middleweight and light heavyweight.
Apparently,
Dan Jones.
I mean,
ex-coworker.
Dan Henderson.
Dan Henderson at UFC 151. It says Henderson was supposed to fight Jones before he went down with an injury,
Okay.
and then I guess it just didn't happen.
Yeah, Dan Henderson was a legend, though. So he was just saying that he doesn't think John Jones has been the same fighter. Because I basically just asked him, who do you think is going to win, Cyril Gane or John Jones? And he started talking to me about how he doesn't think John Jones has been the same since he popped for performance-enhancing drugs.
He qualified it as conditioning-wise also.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's because when you're on performance-enhancing drugs, you can last longer in the cage, in the ring, in the cage, just in any physical activity. You could take more hits, you could run longer, you just have more endurance.
Right.
So that's what he's talking about, conditioning.
There was another heavyweight fight, though. It wasn't just at Bellator. Did you watch any of the UFC Fight Night?
No, I didn't because I was at Bellator. But Timmy watched it. We should bring Timmy on
Yeah, okay. All right.
to talk about UFC.
Yeah, we got Timothy James in Brazil, and he's going to hop on. So, should we call him Timmy Shoes or Timothy James?
Timmy Shoes.
All right.
Timmy Shoes, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be back.
What's cracking, bro? It's 10:30. For everyone who doesn't know, Timmy Shoes lives in Brazil. Timothy James, he's in Brazil right now.
It's actually it's 11:30 almost. So
he's our coworker here at Inside
how
Fighting.
we do.
So it's 11:30. Look at this guy's hair. It's perfect. It looks fresh out the shower.
Oh yeah, it stays like that 24/7. No changes.
Really? Oh wow, looks good.
Yeah.
Is it the humidity?
It's desert climate, believe it or not, where I'm at. Pretty far from the rainforest.
I talked to you yesterday. Before we get into the fighting, I just want to clear something up really quick. I talked to you yesterday, and you were telling me that your apartment building was being invaded by a whole flock of parrots. Is that still the case in your neighborhood?
Oh yeah, I got a whole family of parrots living outside my window. They make a shitload of noise. They're cool to look at, and they're not really supposed to be in my city. Deforestation going on in the Amazon, but it's pretty cool. I got parrots outside my window.
Where's Leonardo DiCaprio to save you, bro? Wasn't he? Dante, am I wrong on this? Wasn't Leo trying to stop the fires in the Brazilian rainforest or something like that?
He's trying to save the parrots.
Check that out.
Leo saved the parrots.
Hey, Timmy, you said something about deforestation.
Deforestation.
So that's bringing the parrots and all the animals to the city, or what? Jaguars?
Yeah, I haven't seen any jaguars yet, but that'd be pretty fucking awesome.
You ever get monkeys in your city?
They're like these little tiny monkeys that live in the trees. Yeah. But they're native to the city, so
they come to the city, right? Yeah.
From the rainforest.
I'm also part South America. My mom's from Ecuador, and she used to tell me she had a monkey as a pet as a kid. Growing up, she used to have pet monkeys. So
yeah, you can go to the park and bring them fruits and shit. They'll come right up and eat the fruits out of your hand.
Oh wow, cool. So Timmy, remind me why we brought you on this podcast again today, brother. What the fuck's going on?
Is this Jalen Turner that we're talking to?
Who's Jalen Turner again? Oh no! Oh no, my bad. Oh no! Hey, bro,
got that one part.
Hey, no. I was thinking because there's a basketball player, Miles Turner from the Pacers.
Oh yeah.
And then there's another one,
Jalen Brown.
Yeah, and Jalen Brown. I confused them. So Jalen Turner sounds like a basketball player, but that's my boy, the fighter. I know the fuck.
He's
Jalen
the animal
Turner.
guy.
Yeah, I get that joke now. Oh, that's funny. Nice joke there.
Did you guys see that he got tagged in something on Twitter? Some lady was eating a live tarantula. And someone tagged Jalen Turner and said, "This is an official call out, I think." And
that's cool.
I don't think Jalen was happy about it.
This is an official call out.
Mike Jones.
Tarantulas.
No, that's actually pretty funny. You ate a tarantula and you're fucking
disgusting.
That's everything good, Christian?
Yeah.
Right, cool. I get a little nervous when I see the sound engineer. He walks around from the back. Gets a little closer. I'm thinking, oh shit, there's an audio problem.
So Timmy, what did you think of the fights this weekend, brother? What did you think?
Thank you.
There was Bellator. There was Derrick Lewis had kind of a bad showing. What's your takeaway from last weekend?
Let's go.
I told the people who watched How to Fuck Up Your Parlay that I was making my picks emotionally. So obviously I'm pretty heartbroken. Derrick Lewis got steamrolled. My boy, the Black Beast, he did not show up. Sergey Spivac he dominated, right? He took him down. Every time Derrick Lewis tried to stand up, and that's a meme with Derrick Lewis. It's like jiu-jitsu doesn't work on him. He just stands up. But every time he tried to stand up, Sergey just dropped him on his head.
Yeah, it was bad.
Literally face planted him at one point. So, it sucks to see Derrick Lewis.
You told me about that, yeah.
3 losses in a row.
I thought you watched it.
3 times.
No, I didn't watch it. I was at Bellator.
No, but we talked.
Yeah.
It came on he fought so late too. It was like midnight.
Yeah,
when he
why
fought
was
here.
that? Was it because the card was so stacked?
It was because the card was originally supposed to be in South Korea. I don't know if you guys noticed how many Asian fighters were on
I
the
did
card.
notice.
I did, yeah.
Fighters from Japan, Korea. There was a couple of Chinese fighters. It's because it was supposed to be in South Korea, and it got moved to Vegas at the last minute. So they kept the time to accommodate all the Asian fans who wanted to watch.
This is why we bring Timmy on. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
That's why I love having Timmy on. I love having Robbie Clark on. You guys are my 2 favorite guests. We've had a lot of guests on this podcast. Ryan Garcia, Jalen Turner, Cheeto Vera, and
good company.
And yeah, so Timothy Shoes and Robbie Clark, and by far you guys are my favorite guests. Robbie, well, I love them all. I love every guest. I want to be honest there.
Next time you have Ryan Garcia or one of these fighters on, you got to tell them you're cool and everything, but Timmy's shoes. Just got to let them know.
Wow. And I thought
I'm going to relay that
Hey,
message.
Christian, shut this shit down. He was coming over because of the content. It wasn't an audio problem.
wait, what'd you say? Oh,
Christian,
No.
Christian noticed a problem with what you were talking about.
my bad, Timmy. Listen, hey, I thought Jesse's jokes were bad.
I've been getting it from all sides here, brother.
Timmy's shoes is in a new realm of comedy, but
I've got to say,
all right, let's get serious though. Here we go.
So it wasn't just Derrick Lewis. We had it was two heavyweights. I pointed out it was kind of a disappointing weekend for very popular heavyweights. Fedor Emelianenko had his last fight. Just quick take, because we do want to get to the other fights, but quick take on that. His final fight and the way it ended.
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate. It's not all that surprising. It had already happened the last time they fought. Seeing Fedor lose go out like that. What's going on, Kev? What's going on? What did I say?
Nothing has nothing to do with you. It's just a situation. I need some water. And listen, take it away though. Take it away, Jesse.
He's just gonna bounce.
No, I got some water, bro. No, keep it going, bro. Please.
All right, Timmy.
Oh, man. Fedor. It sucks seeing Fedor go out like that. We all wanted to see him win, go out as a champion. I still think he's the best heavyweight of all time. And it was really surreal, really cool seeing him with all those guys in the cage with him. You had Rampage Jackson, you had Matt Hughes was there, Mark Coleman was there, Hoist Gracie was there. Just so many legends in the game showed up. Dan Henderson was there. I know Kat got to talk to Hendo after the event. Chuck Liddell was there. Randy Couture was there. I mean, the list goes on and on. Everyone showed up to support Fedor. So that was very cool to see. Very sentimental moment for us hardcore MMA fans. But, it is what it is. Fedor goes out and, maybe he should have retired a little bit early, but he did have a good run in Bellator, all things considered.
Yeah, well, it's at least we all know. I did see people saying if you haven't seen Fedor fight in Pride, you didn't really see Fedor fight at all. So, if you don't want to see Fedor going out on a bad note, just go look at some of his highlights from Pride, and you'll get an idea. What do you what?
Well, sorry, I just congratulations on Fedor on a fantastic career. The Inside Fighting team here loved your career. Timmy, are you a big Fedor fan?
I am. He is my heavyweight GOAT.
Oh, really?
For sure.
Wow.
27 wins in a row at heavyweight over I think it was a 10-year span.
Oh, wow.
I mean, at heavyweight. And he did it as a guy who's not a big heavyweight. He's only like 6 foot, I think. He's a smaller heavyweight.
Probably like 6'1".
So, yeah, Fedor's the GOAT for me.
And you think he beats a Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, Daniel Cormier? Or it's not that you think he beats him, he's just your...
I think...
Skill-wise, do you think skill-wise he's the best heavyweight of all time, Fedor?
I think the body of works is what makes me call him the greatest, and what he did for Pride and everything. It's hard to, because, his prime didn't line up with those guys' prime. And when you're talking about newer heavyweights like Daniel Cormier and like Stipe and stuff, they came later. They came with more of the sport. Like Fedor helped build the sport up.
Right.
So I don't know how he would have matched up with those guys in the prime. It's sort of like trying to compare Babe Ruth to, Aaron Judge or something. Like Aaron Judge has an advantage because he's newer in the sport,
Right.
So I don't know how they would have matched up pound for pound with. I think he would have beat Brock Lesnar. I'll throw that out. I don't know how he would have done against Cain Velasquez.
Is Fedor your favorite fighter of all time, or just your favorite heavyweight?
Just my favorite heavyweight. He's my heavyweight go. Yeah.
Dana White, I don't know what he said. He said that he doesn't think that he's the best heavyweight of all time.
Yeah, he doesn't think he. Who did he say he got beat by? I forgot who. Oh, yeah, Henderson. He was he got knocked out by middleweight Henderson or something like that.
Henderson's a beast, though. Yeah, hey, we talked about Henderson earlier. Dan Henderson, yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah,
he fought at welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. So he beat Fedor at light heavyweight, or he beat him on?
Yeah, I don't know.
It must have been heavyweight because Fedor never fought in any other weight class. But I heard what Dana White said, and I understand where he's coming from. He's not going to say that a guy outside his organization is the best, especially when people consider UFC fighters the best. But I disagree. And I don't think there's any, like, okay, he got knocked out by Henderson, but that was later in his career. It wasn't like, holding that against him. I love Uncle Dana, but I got to disagree with him there.
Fair enough. Well, just to let's make a transition here, because we do have some big fights coming up. Obviously, UFC 284 is this weekend. Alex Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev. It is the pound-for-pound battle royale for the #1 fighter in the world. Just let's hear it, Timmy. Who you taking? What do you see happening? And what do you make of it?
I mean, it's almost surreal, right? Because you've got the pound-for-pound guy who's a champion going up against the #2 who's a champion, and everyone says that one of those guys, the guy who's actually the pound-for-pound, has no chance. So it's surreal, because it's so hard for many fans, many analysts to pick Volkanovski. How many people are picking Volkanovski? I haven't heard anyone. Volk was on Bisping. Fighters aren't picking Volkanovski. Fans aren't picking Volkanovski. And it's sort of weird. People were saying that the UFC wasn't pushing this fight that hard, and it's sort of like maybe they're having trouble marketing it because people think that Makhachev is just going to run Volk over. I think, if you hold a gun to my head, I'm going to have to pick Makhachev too. I think the wrestling is going to be too much.
Hey, Makhachev is how you say his. Sorry to cut you. That's how you say his name in English, right? How do you say it in Russian? You probably know how to say it. Let me hear it. The way he says it.
The way he says it?
Yeah.
I have no idea, bro.
Bro.
Yeah, I don't.
He speaks Portuguese.
Oh, right.
Not Russian.
I know. Hey, the way he says it, though, I heard him say it the other day, like probably today or yesterday.
I think it's like Makhachev.
It's crazy.
Makhachev.
It sounds like
Yeah.
it sounds cool.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking CIA, like a Russian CIA last name style. shit.
Russian isn't even his first language. I think
It's a respectable last name, especially the way he pronounces it. I just wanted to see if you knew how to pronounce it. But,
No, I don't know. I forget what his native language is. There's a Dagestani language.
Hey,
It's
this
like
weekend in
Azak or
UFC,
something
what?
like that.
It's not Dagestani. That's not a language. I'm an idiot, bro. I have no idea what his actual.
I didn't. So a Russian fan explained this to me. There's like two main ethnicities in Dagestan. Habib is one, and Islam's the other, and they have their own language.
I think Dante's on this right now.
Yeah, he was.
The names of the languages.
He's Dagestani, yeah.
Right, but what language do they speak in Dagestan?
Dagestan
Russian.
language.
I think it's just Russian, right?
No, they have their own native language,
Oh.
and they speak Arabic, and they speak
Google
English,
said-
so
oh.
they're multilingual.
Avaric or Average?
Is that what it
There
is?
you go.
Okay.
A Northeast Caucasian language,
Oh.
primarily in Dagestan.
I know we're talking about the UFC. This is 285 or 284? 284.
284.
One last
So,
thing.
yeah, man,
Before we talk about 84, though, I did want to ask you one last thing about Fedor. Like, would you get a Fedor tattoo? Do you have tattoos, Timmy Shoes?
I don't have tattoos. If I was going to get a tattoo of a fighter,
Charles Oliveira.
no.
Okay.
I'd have to get like a mural of Brazilian fighters doing something weird.
Well,
I think I would get Anderson Silva front kicking Vitor Belfort in the face, but like on a surfboard in Rio, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's sick. Hey, you're
Lots
always
of
showing
photos.
mad Brazilian love. I know your wife is Brazilian. Your kid is half Brazilian. You. So a mural will be tight. And who do you put on that? Who's your Brazilian for? Mount Rushmore.
Anderson Silva, Royce Gracie, and then after that it gets a little bit harder. Minotauro would probably have to be there.
You don't think Oliveira belongs on there?
I'm gonna put him last. Yeah,
Wow.
Charles Oliveira. I think he had one of the best runs at lightweight.
Yeah.
There's certainly entertainment value and the time span. I mean, he fought everyone in the top 5 in 2 years, which is unheard of. In like champions don't do that. I don't even think it was 2 years. I think it was a year and a half. He became champion. He fought everyone in the top 5 in 2 years. It was crazy.
He's also flying apparently to Australia, or like yesterday he flew to Australia, so he is the official backup apparently for that fight.
Was that announced?
I don't think it was announced, but that's what the speculation is that he is the official backup in case one of those fighters do not make weight.
Right. I don't know if he's going to be able to make weight in a week. Maybe he already knew that he was going to be the backup, but if they called him up at the last minute, that might be tricky. But we'll see. We'll see. It would be kind of interesting if something happened, one of the guys has to pull out, and then Oliveira steps in and he can't make weight, so it would have to be a catch weight. That would be a mess. But I mean, no one's given Volk much of a chance, but there are a few interesting things to think about ways that Volk could win. The first is his height actually going to be an advantage? Because everyone knows Makhachev is going to take him down, he's going to wrestle him. Theoretically, being shorter, if you're stronger, lower center of gravity, you're going to be harder to take down. When Volk was on Believe You Me with Bisping, he actually Bisping said this. Bisping was like, the shorter guys, they can be harder to take down. Now, obviously, Bisping, he has good wrestling, but he's not a Dagestani wrestler like Makhachev. So that's interesting. People are like, oh, he's too small. Well, maybe his lower center of gravity will help him. The second thing is, let me
if I can interject just real quick.
Go for it.
Might want to start calling you Timmy Facts, because you're nothing but facts over here, and you got the facts. So you speak facts, and you have. But you said something about the short guys. They're definitely harder to take down. I just wanted to second that. 100%. The lower center of gravity, especially the thicker dudes, like big calves, big thighs and shit. It's hard. So they're harder to take down if you're like doing shots and stuff. But if when you have a height advantage over those little guys, the best thing to do is just throw them. So we'll see if Islam has trip them by the legs or something. Because getting down there low, it's they're strong.
And it has to be said, he has really great hip throws. His judo is fire too.
Yeah.
People usually think
Islam might completely dominate him and just hold him down and ground and pound him, and like Volk might not be able to get up, because the Dagestani wrestling style is probably is right up there with the United States wrestling. I can't say it's better than United States wrestling, but it's right there. It's neck and neck.
Up there.
1-1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I think that we got to give some credence to the fact that Volkanovski was a professional rugby player, so he is well acquainted with being, just thrown to the ground by bigger dudes. That guy is experienced with it. His training camp's been bizarre. I mean, some of the things that they're practicing, he's prepared to be just thrown around. He's training for being just manhandled. Sure. Yeah, that's his whole training session is literally being just thrown around, and how he gets out of this stuff. It's actually very interesting how he's doing it.
We need to post some of that.
Yeah,
that is one of the interesting things, because his team is very smart. If there's a team who can find a weakness to exploit, I think his team at City Kickboxing, his coaches are going to prepare him for everything.
I think everyone's super excited to watch this fight. I mean, they're talking about there's been no buzz or no press, because it doesn't need no press. This is like Volkanovski. He's never been beaten in the UFC, right?
No, he's only lost once, and it was at welterweight, by the way.
Yeah, and then Islam only has one loss, and some people call that a fluke loss. But this is going to be a great fight, and it's either going to be Islam dominating him and just ground and pound, not be able to get up, or something's going to happen where Islam says, all right, let me box this guy, because he's been talking knockout. It could just be to throw him off. So he's been talking. So if they stand up and box, that's Volk's best chance. I could see Volk clipping them. And you said no one was picking Volk, early, but Makachev's picking Volk. Let's fucking go.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Wait, are we doing that now? Are we?
No,
are we
but that's just
okay.
Heads up for our gambling show.
All right.
Heads up for our gambling show.
Wow, that's huge.
Makhachev is picking Volk. That's my lock.
See, because I think Volk has to. I personally think Volk's going to have to win a decision of some kind. I could be totally off on that. That's my opinion. I mean, so
no, but Islam lost by knockout before, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Volk's got the boxing.
Adriano Martins, who's not I think he went 1-5 in his next 6 fights. I wanted to say one more thing about Volk. You were touching on this, Jesse. You said that he might have to win a decision, and people have been pointing out, yes, he has the boxing advantage, but he's not really a knockout artist, right? He's a volume guy.
Yeah.
He puts it on you, combinations. He's not sleeping guys. So there's an X factor going into this fight because some guys, when they move up weight, all of a sudden they start knocking dudes out. We saw it with Jorge Masvidal. We saw it with Gilbert Burns. Both those guys are fighting, oddly enough. So sometimes guys move up and all of a sudden they're knocking dudes out. And sometimes it works the other way too. They move up and they have less power.
Right.
But that's an X factor. Maybe Volk has one punch knockout power that we haven't seen yet because he's going to come in that fight heavier. We just don't know. So
no, I'm concerned about that for Volk. I don't think he does. And you know, I have all the respect in the world for the guy, but I watched. I just decided randomly to rewatch the Max Holloway fight. The one where he dominated all 5 rounds, just dominated.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
He hit him so many times, and I mean Holloway like never fell down. It was just volume punching him, and it was like if he can't knock down Holloway, I don't see him knocking down Islam. It's just.
Funny thing about
that's a great point.
Max Holloway has never been knocked down in the UFC.
Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough.
Another great point.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we can't.
2 great points here. Lockechetti was about to change my pick up. That was a great point. He's right. You know, Volk can't even knock down Holloway, and he's of the slender, thin frame. And I'm thinking, fuck, you're right. He should have knocked his ass out if he had power. There's no way he knocks out Islam.
And he hit him.
Luke Rockhold told me Islam helped him train for Machida. So, you know, Islam's a beast. Yep. He's like Khabib. You know, these guys get up to 190, 195. So, then you said, you know, Max Holloway's never been knocked down, which is another great point.
No.
Well, Lockechetti's changing his pick. My lock of the night is Islam Makhachev. Let's fucking go.
Wow.
Let's go.
Let's wait for the gambling show for his official pick, please.
Yeah, hey, that's how close this fight is. This close is like, that's what I was saying. They're talking about no press. It doesn't need press. This is a fire-ass fight. Islam versus Volkanovski. I'm excited to see this. It can go any type of way.
There are other good fights on the card. You know, they got the featherweight interim championship going. Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. That's an interesting one, but I do want to shower some love on my boy. Rude Boy Randy Brown is fighting. He's fighting in Australia against Jack Della Maddalena, I think is how you say his name. And he's going to play spoilers. Okay, my boy Randy is going in there, and he's getting the finish. And he's going home with a bag.
I'm
ready for it.
Is he on the prelims or the main card?
He's right before the co-main event. He's on the main card. He's
wow.
The third fight, yeah.
And what's the record? Like, is he on the underdog or is he the favorite or?
He's the underdog right now. He's actually a pretty heavy underdog. I have him. He's plus 175.
That's not too bad.
He's
plus 260. Okay, yeah, that's a heavy underdog. So who's this guy he's fighting? But you think your boy
Jack Della Maddalena is this dude he's won 13 fights in a row, right? Weirdly enough, he lost his first 2 MMA fights, so he's 13-2. But he's never fought a guy with the caliber of Randy Brown. But this is a guy. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to build Jack up, and he's from Australia or New
Zealand. Think they're going to be. They think that Jack's going to be able to build off your guy Randy Brown.
Correct. Actually, he's from Perth, so he's literally fighting in his city. So yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They think this kid's got a lot of talent, and he does. But I think Randy's going to play spoiler in front of that home crowd, which is funny because last time I saw Randy fight, I saw him fight in Sao Paulo, and he beat a Brazilian. So he's used to going abroad and playing spoiler in front of the home crowd.
Right. And they say journalists are supposed to be, you know, unbiased or anything, but I've never considered myself a journalist, and I'm not a journalist. So, you know, like I'm all for root for whoever you want to root for. You know what I mean? Like some people are too scared to take a pick.
I'm supposed to be impartial, I know, but I was friends with Randy before.
I don't think you're supposed to be impartial. I think you're fine. No, seriously.
Yeah, maybe if I was Octagon side, I'd have to be impartial. But yeah, there's some other good fights. Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett is going to be a good one because whoever wins that fight is going to have to fight Volk next, and both of those fights are awesome. Whoever wins.
Yeah, we talked about this. On a previous podcast episode, I was predicting that Volk was going to be the champion at 145 at the end of the year, specifically for what we're talking about here. I think Volk's going to lose to Islam, but I think that he's going to come back down and fight. You don't think that Volk, if he loses because he's been champion for a couple of years now, that he will like just take the rest of the year off? You think that he will go back down to 145 and fight the winner of that?
I can't see Volk doing that. He's not that kind of guy, right?
Yeah, he wants to bang. He wants to fight. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, if he loses at lightweight, he's going to be like, all right, whatever.
Summertime
That's another thing
fight.
is that he has nothing to lose. Everyone thinks he's going to lose. He's the one who's moving up. If he loses, it's like, all right, I lost to the guy everyone said I was going to lose to in a different weight class. And then he's going to go back and he's going to keep trying to continue his dominating run, I would pick Volk against both Josh Emmett and Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah, I actually think that fight is a little bit. I'm actually very excited. Who do you have? I'm very excited for that fight because I do like Yair. I think he has a very strange, unique style, and he's exciting to watch. Yeah. I'm taking. You know what? I don't want to give my pick away because we're doing the parlay show, but I like Yair. I'll say.
It's weird because these are two guys who have been in the top of the featherweight division for a while, but in the last 3 or 4 years, they haven't fought that much. You know, there were some injuries, some things that held them back. Josh Emmett, I think he had to get surgery. I think Yair Rodriguez had a knee problem. So these guys haven't been able to fight, and this is a perfect matchup for the interim championship because they're guys who have been at the top, right at the cusp for a while, but injuries held them back. So it's sort of like, now you got your chance to get gold. I mean, the stakes, you couldn't write a better script for these guys. All things, when you factor in everything.
One thing I do love about the gambling show we all put on here, the How to Fuck Up Your Parlay, is we give stats, odds. Like, I want to ask you, Josh Emmett's stats right now. What's his record? It's probably only 3 or 4 losses, right? 2 losses? No.
He's got 3 losses.
I'm
2
sorry.
losses.
I got a researcher for that. Can I get Josh?
Yeah, I thought Timmy was going to have it off the top of his head. He had to Google it.
I'm used to Timmy having that.
He got knocked out by Jeremy Stevens, and he has one other loss. I can't remember who. But
So
he
it's
got
only
knocked
2
out.
losses.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, he's on a...
Who the fuck is that guy?
Desmond Green.
Okay,
Desmond
I'm taking Yair.
He lost to Desmond Green, but he didn't get finished. I think the only time he got finished was against Jeremy Stevens. But he's on a 5-fight win streak, is he not?
By the way, Jeremy Stevens is boxing Jose Aldo. Just a little side note, boxing Jose Aldo at Gamebred Boxing 4.
And Jose Aldo's on my Brazilian Mount Rushmore. Neither of you guys asked me about my Brazilian Mount Rushmore. Real quick, my Brazilian,
unbelievable, bro.
Yeah, my Brazilian Mount Rushmore is Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo,
I didn't say Jose Aldo.
Shogun Rua, and I had another one. No, that was Hickson was at Timmy's game.
I know how much you love Charles Oliveira.
No, give me
Cap.
Man, it's at the tip of my tongue. But
Amanda Nunes.
Actually, maybe.
No, that wasn't my try. It is now. See, that's why Timmy chooses. That's why I call him Timmy Facts. Timmy Facts.
I can't believe I missed
she's
Jose
been a great
Aldo,
champion, double champion, 35-45. Amanda Nunes on what, 2 or 3 losses? Yeah, no, she's a beast. So yeah, Amanda Nunes, she's definitely on my Brazilian Mount Rushmore. But I'm sorry to switch topics, but
No, it's all good.
We brought up Aldo. He was saying Jeremy Stevens is boxing Aldo. Crazy.
Yeah,
that's funny because Aldo already beat him with his boxing in an MMA match. He hit him with a liver shot, a beautifully placed.
I remember that.
I think
that's right,
to the liver. Man, that was.
I didn't even think about that. So they fought in MMA and now they're fighting in boxing.
Yes.
Oh, crazy.
Yes.
And they're the co-main event of. So Anthony Pettis is going to be fighting Roy Jones Jr.
That's wild.
What's the age difference?
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, he's boxing on this Friday. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's his debut. Yeah, you're right.
This Friday.
Wow, then he already has another one lined up.
He's going like the Chris Cyborg route.
Honestly, good luck to Jose. I don't know how he's going to fare in boxing. I thought he was always a good kicker, right, Timmy?
Oh,
great kicks.
Kick.
Yeah, great kicks. And great striker too, but he just looks, I don't know. I think sucking down and cutting down to 35 towards the end of his career. At the end of the career, he's supposed to go up. So when he was an interesting fighter, kind of like Frankie Edgar and Aldo.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the career, they go lower. To me, that is so crazy. Like you're making your body go through more as you get older.
I'll explain. You're right, but I think it made sense for those guys, and I'll tell you why. It's because when those guys were fighting, the divisions, like the average size of the division was much smaller. When Jose Aldo was champion for 10 years, featherweights were smaller. You know, you had Chad Mendes, you had Uriah Faber, like everyone was shorter. Everyone had a smaller reach. Over time, weight cutting, the technology, the technique, it got better.
Facts. Like Brian Ortega, Holloway, these guys are huge.
Yep, these guys are big. I mean, Yair Rodriguez is pretty big. Shane Burgos, I know he's in the PFL now, but he's huge.
Even Josh Emmett looks like a 55.
Right, and it's kind of crazy to imagine Frankie Edgar was the lightweight champion. Imagine Frankie Edgar fighting some of the lightweights that we see now, like Charles Oliveira is huge, Dustin Poirier is huge. You know, Islam Makhachev, Habib, these guys are so much bigger than Frankie Edgar. Could you imagine 5'6" Frankie Edgar fighting 6'1" Jalen Turner?
Yeah,
I mean, because that's where we're at now.
Ankle picks all day, single legs, attack the legs.
True.
Let's go.
True.
By the way, Cap, you were asking Anthony Pettis just turned 36. Roy Jones Jr. just turned 54 last month.
Yeah, not 34. Yeah.
My addition tells me that's an 18-year age difference.
That's very good.
Thank you very much. Anyways, Roy Jones Jr., 54 years old versus Anthony Pettis. That's the main event on Game Bread Boxing. I guess is it George Masvidal's boxing promotion? Yeah. Game Bread Boxing. That's good. Yeah. And it's on April 1st, so who knows? This could be a big April Fool's.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? That thought crossed my mind. It did. But you talked to Anthony Pettis like a month ago, and he said that he was making his boxing debut soon.
It's no April Fool's. These guys actually, and Pettis and Roy Jones wouldn't go for that. These guys want to box. Roy Jones, like, bro, that's why he's a real G. Like, people who are I respect people who are boxing into their 50s. The longer you can keep it going, keep it going. That's crazy as hell. Like, he's kept it together.
Is it an exhibition or is it a sanctioned bout? Like,
good question.
Do we know that?
Great question. No idea.
I'm gonna look that up.
He'll look that up. Timmy Facts. You don't have the. You don't know.
Step it up, Timmy.
I don't know. No.
And I like Pettis. So everything I always say is meant to no disrespect towards these celebrities. Pettis is cool, but I got to pick Roy Jones. I don't care about the 18-year age difference. Roy Jones was a master at the sweet science of boxing.
Yeah.
And Pettis is like a cool striker. Yeah, one of the best of all time. Roy Jones is one of my favorite boxers of all time.
Says here on Boxing Junkie from USAtoday.com, it's a sanctioned bout.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. So the stakes are high. You know, it's not going to be like they're going in there to mess around. They're going in there to knock each other out. So that's awesome.
I love
that. Makes it a little bit more interesting for me. Not that exhibitions aren't real fights, but.
Let me ask you guys' opinion on this. You have Game Bread Boxing, Masvidal. Then, he has a fight coming up against Burns at UFC 287 in Miami in his backyard. Do you guys think running a promotion, is he running it? Can anyone look that up? Is he hands-on? If he's hands-on with Game Bread Promotions and he still has an active UFC career, is he doing too much? Should he focus on one or the other? Or do you guys think he can juggle both like that? Because I think, when you're so locked in on a job, on a side hustle, you kind of take a step back from your training. I always like the fighters who are all in on training 24 hours a day, eat, sleep, train. So this guy's running
we've seen that in the past, right? Like Ronda Rousey was doing all these movies and TV shows and stuff, and then she got knocked out by Holly Holm. Conor McGregor had his whiskey thing, and he did a bunch of stuff, and then he fell off hard. So it's something we've seen before, right? I don't know if Masvidal's like running the show himself, but it's got his name on it. He's the branding.
Yeah.
So
I have an answer to this question. It seems like he is there for like the media side of things to give like statements on the event. Right. He has somebody else running it. He gave some statements today about the fight, saying that he loves Roy Jones. He said that he. I've always been a fan of Roy Jones, always wanted to work with Roy Jones in some capacity. He's giving a lot of media statements. I think that somebody else is running it. I think he's just the face of the event. Yeah.
I got a quote
Right,
from
no,
him here.
I
where
know
he's-
that, but that's still very exhausting. You have to
yeah.
do interviews, you have to show up to the event, you have to do some in-ring, maybe some promotion, maybe some face-offs. Yeah, he's the face. That's why it's called game-bred boxing. He's the face, but that's exhausting.
I think Masvidal is locked into training. I do. I personally think that he is.
I don't. I think guys who are locked in on training are all in on training, not trying to do all this side stuff. Like Khabib didn't start Eagle FC till he retired. You know what I mean? But hey,
Yeah.
people got to. So who's one of the most locked in fighters of all time? Tim?
John Jones.
John Jones.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen any video of his training other than like what Henry Cejudo has posted. I almost did it. Yeah,
I like
I
that.
don't know
I like
if
that.
John Jones is the pick. John Jones is the greatest.
Because you
of all
laughed.
time.
He laughed. When
okay, that maybe I'm just the casual then, and I'm just not aware of something here.
No, I don't know. Don't you remember when he told Daniel Cormier after going into their second fight, he was like, Daniel Cormier was like, "Oh, you're always doing cocaines and hookers," and John Jones was like, I beat that ass after doing a weekend of cocaine and hookers.
I know.
He gave the guy like the most not locked in. No, he's locked in.
That's a press conference answer, though. I do think like John Jones, like you see everybody on social media is posting training videos. John Jones has posted like one training video in the past like 4 months.
So
Like
to you,
I think
equate means locked in.
No, I mean I think that he is like one of the most dedicated athletes. He's like a Kobe Bryant. Yeah, he's got some problems and issues, but I think he's locked in.
Love this. Yeah, listen,
honestly,
that's
during his prime, I think he was so talented and so much better than everyone else. He didn't need to be locked in. And he actually said that after the Gustafsson fight. He said, he was partying.
Y'all are disrespecting the GOAT right now. That's
no, he's greater for not being locked in like that. His natural abilities. He's a beast.
He's like Shaq.
He said,
all right, maybe he's more like Shaq.
For Gustafsson. But
John Jones is the
for
greatest
this
of all
fight, I
time.
think he's locked
Facts. Right?
Oh yeah. He's the GOAT for sure. And I think for this heavyweight debut, I think he is locked in. I really do.
That was a funny
I think that's what I mean is I do think he's locked in.
You weren't
now he's locked in. Like right now he's locked in. Maybe not like 5 years ago.
This guy chose the most unlocked in fighter to be his most locked in.
Hey, and he's never lost a legitimate fight.
John Jones is. John Jones is so good that he can beat Alexander Gustafsson after partying for a week.
That's my kind of champion right there.
Yeah.
Facts.
All right.
I wonder if any fighters ever fought on blow.
I think John Jones has.
You think so? I don't
Probably,
think so.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, didn't Nick Diaz choked out Takanori Gomi, and he was high on weed when he fought him. I don't think he ever admitted it.
Hey, well,
David Wells pitched a perfect game for the New York Yankees while he was drunk off his ass. He claims that he was wasted.
I've never done blow, but what's it feel like, Dante?
Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us on the Fight Season podcast.
Christian, how does blow feel?
Yeah.
Jesse, what is? I've never done blow, but what's it feel like?
Jesse Blow.
We're not going back to that time. It's a dark time in my life, and I don't want to revisit it.
Jesse Blow.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Okay.
Timmy Shoes, thank you so much for joining us. You're the man. Looking forward to talking fights with you on how to fuck up your parlay, but really quick, we have one last thing to announce.
All right, so look, we do have a super exciting giveaway to announce. We will be giving away 2 tickets to UFC 287 in Miami. You get to see Adesanya versus Pereira 2, the rematch. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is you got to follow us on all social media accounts: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find us, and then once you subscribe to all those accounts, comment done, we'll verify that you're actually done and you're a follower, and you will be automatically entered into the giveaway.
Yeah, and all flights and accommodations will be paid for if you do win this giveaway. And the winner of this giveaway will be announced March 20th right here on the Fight Season podcast.
Well,
so
accommodations as well?
Yeah, flights and accommodations will be paid for.
I thought we were just doing flights. We're giving a hotel too?
Absolutely.
Where are we going to put them in South Beach? We've been to South Beach.
You're going to get, I don't want to promise anything.
You got to share a room with Jesse.
I will be staying with you. No, but you're going to get your flight and your hotel paid for. It's awesome. It's an awesome giveaway. Go subscribe to all of our platforms, and you're automatically entered. It's going to be awesome.
I'm not going to
That's
choose
dope.
the hotel.
That's
Hopefully
dope.
they put you winners up in something decent, mid-tier to super
Yeah,
sick.
this ain't going to be no Motel 6.
Yeah, it'll probably be something decent, and we'll make sure that you get. Should we up the giveaway? Are we not allowed to do that? Is it first
At
class
least
or
a holiday.
coach?
No, let's not promise too much. But if you want first class, this guy will cover it right here.
First class to be determined. For now, we're going to
Yeah.
start with 2 coach tickets to Miami UFC 287.
Each subscription counts as 1 vote. So tell your friends if you want to get another friend in on the giveaway, have them subscribe as well.
Thank you.
So, all right. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us in the Fight Season podcast. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Peace.